Hi, hello. This is Tutor from Uplatz training. Today, after the last session, we have learned about the concepts regarding your S4 HANA. So, continuation with the last session. Today, we will be learning about the introduction to SAP Fiori, which is one of the user-friendly interface, specially designed in SAP S4 HANA. So we would see further what is SAP Fiori and what are its advantages, what are its landscape, what is the launch pad, the other details. So let's see. SAP Fiori is a new experience or is a new user experience for SAP software and applications. It provides a set of applications that are used in regular business functions like work approvals, financial apps, calculation apps, and various service apps. So here, this Fiori apps is, why this is more into the market is because of the reason it has been accumulated all the regular business functions, and it is not limited to only one type of function. It can be for work approvals, financial apps. We can also maintain calculation apps in Fiori, as well as various service portals also can be maintained in Fiori app. So SAP Fiori provides adequate role-based applications like HR, manufacturing, finance, etc. Yeah. So it is mostly used as a role-based tool, especially for HR and manufacturing concerns. And here, Fiori means flower in Italian language. That is why when you switch on the launchpad of SAP Fiori, you will see a flower-like structure. We will be logging into that. So how to log into SAP Fiori? So let's say it is a remote access details. So this is how we log into SAP Fiori. We'll see in the continuation stage. SAP Fiori provides all business rules in real time. So it is a business application in the real time basis on compatible hand devices. So it is not only on the computer, or is also on your compatible hand devices like your mobile phone, smartphones, etc. It offers business rules on easy to use functions. It is very flexible and simplified usage, simple with unmatched responsiveness on desktop, smartphones, and tablets. Yes, as I said, smart SAP Fiori app can also be introduced or viewed in the mobile phone also, smartphone also. SAP Fiori enables multiple device applications that allow users to start a process on their desktop. So Fiori enables multiple device applications. It is not limited to a single application, but it enables multiple device applications which allow users to start a process on their desktop or laptops and to continue that process on a smartphone. So here what is the main advantage of SAP Fiori is we can parallelly work on with the desktop as well as on the smartphone with the same process. SAP has developed Fiori apps based on user face UI 5. So the latest version where SAP Fiori was developed was through UI 5. SAP Fiori provides all business rules in real time on compatible hand devices, and it offers business roles on easy to use functions, simple with unmatched responsiveness on desktop, smartphones, and tablets. It enables multiple device applications that allow users to start a process on the desktop or laptops and to continue that process on a smartphone even or on a tablet. SAP has developed Fiori apps based on user interface UI 5. SAP Fiori user experience is used to provide a personalized and role-based user experience for enterprise-wide engagement across lines of business. Yes, along with this SAP S/4HANA for finance, why SAP Fiori is into more existence because of it is multiple lines of businesses. It is not engaged, or it has not got a very narrow scope of the business functions, but the enterprise can have a wide range of business functions into different line of businesses through this SAP Fiori. So what are the design principles related to SAP Fiori? Let's see. So there are 5 design principles for SAP Fiori. Those principles make SAP Fiori simple and decompose the different transactions into simple task-based UI applications. So UI-based applications will be formed through these 5 principled designed principles, and this is very most frequently asked interview question related to SAP Fiori topic. So basically it is a role-based. SAP has decomposed various SAP functions, SAP transactions, and changed them into beautiful user interactive applications that show only most relevant information to the users. So it is one of the first design of SAP Fiori is it is a role based. So it has decomposed various SAP transactions and changed them into beautiful user interactive application. So nothing but this is more into user interaction. So it is not one way interactive, it is more into a user interactive applications which show only most relevant information to the user. So here it is through role based, nothing but whatever is assigned to that particular role, that particular relevant information is only viewed by the users. Responsiveness. When SAP Fiori is combined with the power of SAP HANA, so SAP HANA is one of the powerful system. So when it is powered with this HANA, it provides an unmatched application response and query execution time. So it requires a negligible time to respond to a particular query with this SAP Fiori app when it was combined with this SAP HANA platform. Simple. So it is very simple, as we also learned in the initial lines of SAP Fiori itself. So simple. To make SAP Fiori simple to match the user demand, SAP has designed it has 1-on-1-3 scenario. 1-1-3 scenario, what we can see. So nothing but it says what is 1-1 theory is one user, one use case, and 3 schemes. So it is very simple. One user will have one use case. You can use only in one case, whether it is simple or affirmative, and only 3 schemes authorizations. So that is why it has become a more relevant and more responsiveness. Seamless experience. So it is not limited to one layered, as we understood. It has got a seamless applications, seamless experience, the SAP Fiori app. So SAP has provided all the Fiori apps based on the same language. So it is not into many languages into one, but it can be done with the same language in which we are operating. So SAP has involved all the Fiori apps based on the same language, and it does not matter on the deployment and platform. So basically, while deploying we have learned there are 2 types of deployment options. One is in on-premise solutions and other one is in cloud solutions. So whether it can be any type of deployment or on any platform, so language doesn't matter. So it is a seamless experience with this particular language. Delightful. So SAP Fiori was launched or was designed to work with ECC 6.0. So basically it was along with ECC 6.0 itself to make it easy for the users and to deploy on the existing SAP system. So why it is so delightful is it is not from scratch, like it is not like your all the brand new implementation. It was there from the brownfield implementation itself, nothing but from SAP ECC 6.0 version itself. This particular Fiori app was designed to make the user friendly and deploy in the particular existing system itself. So basically, SAP Fiori apps are divided into three categories. So it has got a three categories which differ on the basis of their function and infrastructure requirement. So these these apps, Fiori apps, are not similar to all the type of functions or all the type of requirements. So based on the infrastructure requirement, based on their function, the fact or this app can be design. So basically there are three apps for SAP Fiori. One is transactional apps, fact sheets, analytical apps. Now, let's see the next concept relating to migration process for the SAP S4HANA Finance on-premise edition. So what is a migration process? So before you're migrating, what are the things you need to check in before you're migrating the process of existing system to SAP S4HANA Finance, which is an on-premise edition. So first we will see the importance of the size of the SAP HANA database. So very most foremost thing what we have to check in before we migrate, start or initiate the process of migration is the size. That plays a vital role. The size of your SAP HANA database plays a vital role in your migration process. The sizing scope of SAP HANA in memory is very important while preparing the project plan. Yes. So the HANA database sizing is important. So on what basis this particular size is designed also we'll be learning here. This is because it helps customers to get the maximum benefit from their investment and return of investments, or ROI is return on investment. So, though we can effectively compress the data in HANA, it is a bit difficult to guess the amount of memory required. So, what is this? Why the sizing of SAP HANA database plays an important thing while we are projecting or while we are preparing the project plan is it helps the customers to get the maximum benefit from their investment and return on investment. So whatever, because we also know on-premise edition is investment is high because upfront investment is there, and that too it is very high, right? So if the size of the database is known, then the customers can yield a maximum benefit of from their investment, whatever invested, and also on their return on investments. So though we can effectively compress the data in HANA, we can compress it, but still it is also a difficult thing to guess the amount of memory required. That is why sizing is required. Therefore, it is always advised to check the size of memory by using the SAP Quick Sizer tool as well as reports. So what is the main tool we can go for is Quick Sizer tool to know the size. So the migration process, following steps are involved to migrate the process, SAP HANA migration. First is all about preparatory phase, where we need to know the system requirements, nothing but the database requirement, maintenance planner, what are the maintenance have to be taken care, what data have to be maintained, which data have to be transported or migrated, that planner have to be maintained. Pre-check. So before you're going to whole migrate, because once it becomes the productive or once the project goes productive, it becomes, not difficult, it becomes impossible to maintain the configurations later. So it should be a pre-check before you migrate it. So after migrate, we can't again do the process. So that is why pre-check is prior required. Then custom code preparation. So even the codes, whatever codes are there, if you want to prepare the customized codes, that codes also have to be prepared in the preparatory phase itself. Next comes technical migration. So here, how the database migration takes place, how this is all about the technical requirements we have to look into. The technical migration information. How the database migrates, software update, what is the software update? Because when we are migrating, even the software should be in the updated version. So what is the software update details, which version have to be updated, and what is the data conversion methodology, how are we converting the data. So there are different types of data conversions in ECC. What we know, we can convert the data through batch input, through BDC, and through idocs, through BAPIs we can do, or through intermediate docs also. So here also we would have an information and know the technical information regarding the data conversion. Then comes data customization. So how are you customizing your general ledgers, your new asset accounting? Because after migration is what we will talk all about, new asset accounting. Then how are the material ledger updates? What is a bank accounting configuration? Basically, in SAP S/4HANA Finance, we know that bank accounting was part of ECC in ECC, right? But here it doesn't form a part of as for HANA Finance, that has been totally maintained on cloud. Cash and bank management is maintained on cloud, and it is totally a cash and liquidity management module. So it is separated here. Then controlling data, what is the controlling customization data, and what is a data functional migration, how the data functional module data is migrated. So everything will be learned in data customization, which is the third step to be done. Then comes testing of all this data. Once the pre-check is done in preparatory phase, then testing of this data has to be taken place. Once the testing is done, then goes with go live. So basically, these are the 5 phases which have to be gone for making this, SAP HANA migration. Preparatory phase, technical migration, data customization, testing, as well as go live. Now, what are the 3 phases of the conversion process from ECC to HANA? So we would see what are the 3 phases we should know to convert the process of ECC to HANA. So in that, the first phase is all about the pre-conversion. So here in the pre-conversion stage, what we do is we perform all pre-steps which we need to start conversion. So here we maintain all the pre-steps, the prior steps which are basically required to start a conversion. And this helps us to find any issue in the early phase of the project. This stage is also called a preparatory stage. So what we have learned, that one of the first step to migrate ECC to HANA is nothing but preparatory stage. So in preparatory stage, which is also called as pre-conversion stage, what we do is we perform all the pre-steps here which are start to conversion, and this will help us to find any issue in the early phase of the project itself. So what does it do is it will help us to find whichever issue arises in this early phase of the project itself. And the purpose of the pre-conversion stage is to check the issues or problems in the SAP ECC system and fix them in advance. So why we go for pre-conversion stage here is to check the issues, or to check the tickets, or to check the bugs which are there in SAP ECC system, and at the same time fix them in advance before before we get into the second step of migration. And this consequently makes the actual conversion process error free. So what is the main advantage of doing this is it will make us the conversion, it will make the migration or conversion as a error free phase. And what are the reasons to maintain the pre-conversion phase here is, here we need to perform all the new configurations. So in the pre-conversion phase, in order to know the bugs or the errors are there in ECC platform or not, we need to perform few new configurations for GLs, asset accounting configurations, controlling configurations, material ledger configurations, as well as the bank configurations. Then comes the second phase, all about the conversion phase. So after pre-conversion, it is called the conversion phase, where we convert the system to S4HANA. So we convert the data to whatever the data is there, that to S4HANA. And here it includes adoption to new business process or validation. So in the conversion stage itself, we will also adopt a new business processes. So this version is also called, this phase can also be termed as well conversion and migration. So here, firstly, what we are going to do is, we understand that when we talk about conversion, we actually mean the SAP database conversion. So it is not totally the data, the functional data conversion, but it means the SAP database conversion. So what we do here is, we convert the old ECC model to the new S4HANA system, and this phase includes the adoption of new business process also. Thus, here in the place of ECC, we use SAP S4HANA Enterprise Management or the business suite. So from now, the company or the organization is said to be that it has converted from ECC to S4HANA system. So here, if you want to maintain any new business process also, in this phase itself, we can convert it. Then comes the post-conversion phase. That is, after the conversion, what is the process? So here, post-conversion phase is the final phase. So in this post-conversion phase, what we do is, we perform follow-up activities to make sure we get the maximum use of S4HANA, SAP S4HANA for our business. So what we do here is, we perform follow-up activities. Whatever is left, for that, the follow-up activities are done, so that the maximum use of this SAP S4HANA on-premise uh, solution has been utilized for a particular business. And here, all ECC to S4HANA takes place on-premise. So we are learning all this relating to on-premise, and these things cannot be happened on the cloud version. Likewise, all the steps are meant for those businesses who are already using classic SAP ERP or business suite. So basically, what here this phase tells all about is, we can migrate to ECC to S4, that to on-premise, and it will not happen with cloud. As well, we can migrate the SAP ERP, classic SAP ERP also here. So your classic data also can be migrated to new SAP S4 HANA business suite. So now let's see how to log into on-premise solution. So here the IP details have to be given. user ID credentials. So your training institute or training organization will provide you with the user access. Connect. There is some problem in the user access. I'll sort it out and let you know. So here we will be learning what are the things to have to be taken care in the migration process. So let us have a overview of it. So here we were learning about overview of SAP S/4HANA implementation prerequisites. What are the prerequisites of your SAP S/4HANA implementation? And we have learned about it. Then we analyze the universal journal, like what is exactly universal ledger in SAP, what exactly ledgers in means ledgers in S/4HANA, because in ACC we have learned about the leading and non-leading ledgers. Coming to S/4HANA, we will be learning about the extension ledgers, simulation ledgers, and prediction ledgers. As well, we also learned that we can define more than 8 additional currencies in S/4HANA. Then we have learned that universal journal is an important part of your S/4HANA, where we maintain all the data in one journal itself, one ledger itself, like AC Toka is also a table name. Then it is also called as single source of truth, where we maintain all the reports of different modules at one place itself. Then what is the latest HANA application is S4 HANA 2020, which was released in October 2020. And the main feature of this is newly introduced RAR concept, which is revenue accounting and reporting. And what is the architecture of simple finance? So here, as it is integrated with universal journal, so this particular architecture where few tables have removed, like your customer line item table, vendor line item tables, and we can also have a good extensibility in universal journal with some customer fields. Then we were analyzing what is SAP Central Finance, which is also called as CFIN, and it is also a single repository of financial accounting. We also learned that to maintain the Central Finance data, we need to have a separate license, and it is a part of your S/4HANA itself, so that no additional installation cost is required. Then we know that CFIN consultants can do some changes. They can also transfer the data from source system to your transfer system, nothing but the target system. And we have learned about the CFIN projects, which includes 3 to 4 landscapes. We have learned about the different reporting options which are done to your BI tables or BI tools. Then today's lesson, we have learned about the introduction of SAP Fiori. What is the Fiori design principles? Basically 5 principles: role-based, responsiveness, simple, seamless experience, as well delightful. Then we have Fiori apps, transactional apps, fact sheets, analytical apps. Then migration process for the SAP S/4HANA Finance on-premise edition. What is the process of migration from ECC to S/4HANA, and basically that too on-premises. So first we will see what is the importance of the size of the SAP HANA database, what is the sizing scope, and how important is sizing scope, because here in on-premise investment plays a vital role. Then we have learned the phases or the steps involved in HANA migration: preparatory phase, technical migration, data customization, testing, and go live. So in the pre-conversion phase itself, you maintain new configurations, and in conversion phase, we can convert it from ECC model to SAP S/4HANA, as well as to the business suite. And post conversion is basically applied on-premise. It cannot be done in the cloud. So these were the things which we have learned in this session. So in the next session, we will be learning how to, operate, or how to see the login procedure to S/4HANA on-premise server access. Thank you.